Hey, this is Tony with Catechism Corner. Welcome to this video here about good versus evil. Everything that I'm saying here is not exactly going to align perfectly with the Catholic Church, okay? So I'm just wanting to make sure that I keep that clear here. And it may not fall within the catechism or what have you, but it's my interpretation of things. So I just want to make sure that that's clear here. Every single day we have injustices in our world. We have all kinds of things that occur throughout our world that we just try to understand the concept of why that sort of stuff is happening. Why do we have craziness going on? Especially like today, here it's 2020, we have COVID, it's an election year with all kinds of craziness going on with the elections. We've got riots, we've got protests. There's countless things that we can just go over and over and over and over, you know. But it's not really going to explain things as well as we can, you know, especially if we let it consume ourselves. So this is where I like to sit back and actually think about things that are realistic and try to simplify it. Okay. Satan is living within our hearts. Okay. Satan is the temptation. Okay. When you think of Satan, think of Adam and Eve. Okay, in the Garden of Eden. The temptation, Satan is represented by the snake in the garden, where he says, go and eat from that tree, even though God told them don't eat from that tree, you know. But Satan says the only reason why he said don't eat from that tree is because then you would become like him, you know. So there was temptation, you know, that occurred. And that's basically what Satan's about, is tempting us because of our arrogance and our selfishness. Okay? Satan appeals to our arrogance and selfishness because Satan wants to ultimately divide us from God. You see what I'm saying? So it's that division, okay? Because then evil wins over good. That's basically where it comes to. So when we look at all this stuff that's going on, we have to keep in mind that there is always going to be a battle of good versus evil, because humanity is not perfect, okay? And everything that humanity manufactures is not perfect. So I'm going to put my glasses back on here to symbolize what I'm talking about. So if you had a pair of glasses like these, and you looked out into the world and you saw this symbol over everything that you looked at. You look at social media, for example. Okay? You have Facebook. Okay? And I'll take these off for a second, you know, for now. You have Facebook, right? You can see great things with it. For grandparents, aunts, uncles that live 3,000 miles away, okay, they have the ability to go onto somebody's Facebook page and see how the family is doing. See kids growing up, that sort of thing, and see some wonderful aspects about everybody's lives. You can do FaceTime, you know, where you have video calls, you know. You can do all kinds of things with social media. Now, that's positive, right? Now, let's look at the negative. Facebook has also ended a lot of marriages. Okay, why? Because you'll have like ex-boyfriends or girlfriends coming and, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. You're looking good. You know, and then suddenly a conversation gets sparked up, and then 10 months, 12 months down the road, you're getting a divorce from your husband or wife. And you don't even realize it. Because and I'm not saying the person was evil, But the aspect that has transpired is that division, Satan getting into people's hearts. Now, I'm not saying Facebook is evil. I'm not saying that it's good. It's how it was implemented by us, how we use it as people is what makes it good and what makes it evil. Okay, it's like choosing to do good and choosing to do bad. The same concept. Using our free will, as I talked about in the past couple videos ago. Okay, that's what this is about. You have to keep in mind everything has a propensity for good and evil. Everything. Okay. Everyone's connected over to the great distances, through the help of Facebook. That's great, The Catholic Church's past is definitely not unblemished. So, I'm just going to put it to you straight. The past that we've had, where we've had the news present different instances of church corruption, priests doing things they shouldn't have been doing, or bishops or what have you, totally wrong. And we as a church, again, we, the Catholic Church, hold those accountable. That's why we excommunicate them. When we find, it's sort of just like the justice system. When we find something wrong, we go to fix it. Okay? So we basically will pull that out. Now, this is what when I see these stories, it saddens me. Okay? But I know the Catholic Church is not the only one. I've also seen stories of other denominations of Christianity doing the same thing. And, I'm sure there's other instances in other religions where the same thing happens too. I've heard bad things happen in other religions and all together. Scientology, I'll throw that one out there. That sort of stuff. Every single thing that human beings are involved in has a propensity for good and evil. Now, here's what I do love, is that I like to look at things from a positive perspective. Okay? So, when something bad does happen, and we see priests being excommunicated, bad people being pushed out, we say to them, yes, you're done. You're out. Okay? We forgive you for the wrong choices that you've made. But you'll never be a priest again. You'll never do any of this again. Sorry. Okay? And the way I view that is, God has a garden. It's beautiful. Okay? Beautiful garden. And that's what the Catholic Church or Christianity represents. Okay? And all people on the planet is this beautiful garden. Okay? And you've got weeds in that garden. So every time we see this exposure, it's God plucking the weeds out. And that exposure should be consoling to us to know that God's plucking the weeds out. Okay, that God has an active hand in things. That's the way I choose to view these things, from a positive perspective. That God is there and He's trying to make sure that we've got goodness on our side. So, hopefully this has given you some insight about good versus evil. Hopefully you guys get it. If you have any questions, comment below. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel below and click the notification bell for when we upload new content. Thank you for your valuable time, and may God bless you always with love, laughter, and memories for eternity. And have a wonderful day.